we'll be in one of three places. We'll be one of the faithful servants who disciple, who actively and boldly invest everything that God has given us. We take the risk, we multiply the king's holdings, we're able to place all of these resources at his feet, knowing that the kingdom was multiplied because of what he had given us. But then there will also be some who sit in the second category, who are the unfaithful and the passive followers. This group will consist of those who profess Jesus as Lord. That is key within this story. They're technically part of the church, but out of fear or laziness, self-interest, whatever it might be, there's a paralysis that takes place. And they hide what God has given them, and they bury it along with their potential to grow the kingdom. They put it in a cloth where nobody touches it. They confuse caution with faithfulness. The solemn promise here is a judgment of loss. What you have will ultimately be stripped away from you and given to those who are productive. This is the judgment of the unfaithful and the passive followers. And then finally, the third group of people are the active enemies of the king. These are people that I pray are not a part of our church, that we don't have to see too often. These are people who proclaim that they don't want Jesus to rule over them in any way, shape, or form. They are in open rebellion against God. So my prayer is maybe not that we come in contact too often with this group of people, or maybe we should shift my prayers and your prayers as well, that we come in contact with them more often so that these enemies might be made stewards of the king, where they might be able to avoid the eternal suffering and destruction that they will face, and instead one day be a part of the kingdom. So this message, this story from Luke 19 and from Matthew 25 can be terrifying if you're living in a state of fear, if you're living in a spot of inaction, if you're refusing to invest in what God has given you back into kingdom work. However, it should also be comforting, it should be encouraging for those who are actively engaging in the work that God has given us. Because we know that one day, when he returns, we'll be able to see, God, look, we have been working, and look at all the people that have joined your kingdom because of what you've given us.